Okay, so I'm going to react to some Chuck Norris videos, 3 of them total. And you might notice I've already thumbs up this one and the other 2 as well. That's because I already did this recording and then there was no sound in the file. So I'm going back and doing it again. So anyways, this first video is Goku versus Chuck Norris by Toon Zeek. And then the next one here is Chuck Norris, Heaven's Bodyguard by Weyman. And then the third video here is R.I.P. Chuck Norris, Best Jokes Turned into Songs, full compilation by Troll Notes. And just in case you're know almost nothing about the internet, or maybe you're watching this years later, I wanted to show you, this is the context. So Chuck Norris, an American martial artist, actor, screenwriter, and author with all these black belts, served in the Air Force, and really known as a tough guy. Been in internet jokes about him being a tough guy for a really long time. Lots and lots of years of Chuck Norris jokes being all over the internet, and not quite so much anymore. We're not really at the peak of Chuck Norris jokes anymore, but he very recently became deceased. So it's March 27th, 2026 right now. So yes, he became deceased about a week ago, and because of that, there might be a resurgence in his jokes. But anyways, so this one here is from 3 months ago. Before Chuck Norris became deceased, and then the other 2 are each from 6 days ago. So I think they were uploaded right afterwards. Okay. So anyways, with that context let's go to the first video, Goku versus Chuck Norris. And of course, this is Goku and Vegeta from the Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z series. Okay, so let's go to the beginning and let's watch it.
So this is him, Chuck Norris, the strongest human on Earth.
He doesn't look like much.
I heard that.
How? I whispered that in my mind.
I heard that too.
Yo, Chuck, are you as strong as they say?
I'll put it this way for you. I'm the only one that can see John Cena.
That's impossible.
Oh, and seeing John Cena is a joke that appears in Skybrow's videos, because Skybrow's videos are very meme heavy, although I think he hasn't done it in recent videos. Let's keep going.
Possible.
Well, if you're so strong, how many push-ups can you do?
All of them.
What? That's not even a number.
Numbers fear me.
Okay, how fast can you run?
I don't run. The earth moves under me.
Kakarot. He might actually be stronger than Jiren.
Okay, so when Vegeta says Kakarot, if I remember right, I think that's Goku's real name.
All right, last question. What's your power level?
Yes.
What?
You heard me.
He's the real deal.
You're definitely strong. Fight me.
Bring it on.
Prepare yourself, human. Kakarot, do not hold back.
Did he just catch one of my punches with his butt cheeks?
Kakarot, that's peak divine aura.
I was using negative percentage of my strength.
Negative? How is that even possible?
I hit myself during the fight. To give you 2 a fighting chance.
Yeah, isn't that funny when it focused in on the footage that had happened before, and it became clear that those fists that were hitting him were actually his own fists. These guys did not hit Chuck Norris at all. That's really funny.
He did what?
He damaged himself to make it fair.
You're welcome.
I've never felt so outclassed.
We didn't land a single punch.
Can we train with you?
No.
That's fair.
Hey yo, Goku and Vegeta pulled up thinking they was tough, but Chuck Norris hit himself just to make the fight even. He's different. Tune in next time on Dragon Ball Z, where the Saiyans learn you don't test a man who can see John Cena.
Oh yeah, that's really cool. Even the second time through, I really like it. Okay, so let's go to the next video. And of course, I have already seen this one because, you know, the first recording had no sound. Okay, so let's go ahead and make it big.
They say when he knocked on heaven's gate, the gate asked permission to open. He walked up slow with a thunder in his stride. Clouds pulled back, let the storm inside. St. Peter blinked, said, "Name, son, please." He said, "Chuck Norris." Peter tossed him the keys. No halo dared to shine too bright. No angel stepped up to test his might. The golden road cracked under his boot. Even eternity stood there mute. Chuck Norris went up to heaven one day. He bowed his head, then rose to stay. He looked at God, said, "I'll guard this place." Now even time won't step out of place. No fear above, no doubt within. He's the toughest there's ever been. Yeah, heaven changed when he walked in. Now the gates don't close, they just let him in. Archangels whisper, don't make a sound. Even lightning didn't strike the ground. Demons below felt a sudden chill. Hell went quiet, the fire stood still. The line got drawn, no crossing through. Now with Chuck Norris watching, you know wings dead flap, no stars would fall when the strongest stood above it all. Chuck Norris went up to heaven one day. He bowed his head, then rose to stay. He looked at God, said, "I'll guard this place." Now even time won't step out of place. No fear above, no doubt within. He's the toughest there's ever been. Heaven changed when he walked in. Now the gates don't close, they just let him in. No, the gates don't close.
Oh yeah, and this is something that I mentioned on my first watch through, which is now lost because there was no sound, which is, I think this scene here started just a few seconds early. Notice that it says the gates don't close, they just let them in, and then it's got the scene of demons, and this gate is closed, so it contradicts the lyrics, and also it kind of makes it seem like they're letting demons into heaven by showing this scene. So if they just made the scene a little bit later, it would have matched much better. Let me show you how it is.
They just let him in. They say the devil looked up and locked his own door.
Yeah, see, so these lyrics here match this scene with the devil locking his own door. So if they just moved this scene just slightly further along in the video, it would have made a lot of sense instead of contradicting the lyrics and making it seem like they were letting demons and devils into heaven.
Chuck Norris went up, no soul could deny. Even forever won't ask him why. He stands at the edge where the wild winds start, with fire in hand and an iron heart. No throne he claims, no crown he needs. He guards the light, he writes the deeds. Yeah, heaven safe, let the story begin. 'Cause the toughest man is the one within. And the gate still stands, but it don't swing unless he says it can.
Okay, so that was really cool, and I remembered the criticism I had from my first watch through. Okay, so let's go to the last video, and this is the longest one, and I only got about halfway through it before I checked the recording and found that there was no sound on it. So I haven't seen like the second half of it, but let me show you this one. So this is one of those that was made or at least uploaded right after Chuck Norris's demise. The two that were.
Did you know that I can build a snowman out of rain?
Chuck Norris once rubbed 2 fires to create a stick. Chuck Norris doesn't run or walk, the earth turns for him. Chuck Norris knows Victoria's Secret. I didn't find Chuck Norris on Instagram, he found me. Once Chuck Norris hit a horse with an uppercut, and now these animals are called giraffes. Chuck Norris wears sunscreen to protect the sun. Chuck Norris was able to find the page 4004. Chuck Norris doesn't own a watch, he just decides what time it is. Chuck Norris built a hospital, he was born, and Chuck Norris told his alarm to wake up at 6. Chuck Norris has a diary, it's called the Guinness Book of World Records. Chuck Norris doesn't do push-ups, he just pushes the earth away. Chuck Norris taught the book how to read. Chuck Norris can teach blind people Braille and sign language. We get GTA before Chuck Norris is. I heard Chuck Norris doesn't read books, he just stares them down till he gets the information he wants. Chuck Norris is the chosen one, Chuck Norris chooses the chosen one. Chuck Norris once got bit by a cobra. After 5 days of excruciating pain, the snake died. Chuck Norris built sandcastles when he was a kid, we know them as the pyramids. Chuck Norris can read the QR code word for word. Chuck Norris admitted to using...
Yeah, so one of the things I wanted to point out is how these are actual posts that have likes. Like this one has 143,000 likes, but you know, some of them have just a few likes. But I like the way that the various people are credited, and of course, you know, these are very likely not the people who came up with the original jokes, because those jokes were just passed all around the internet for years. So probably someone else came up with the jokes and then they posted it and got a whole bunch of likes. But some of them probably did come up with the jokes, because there's always people coming up with new Chuck Norris jokes. But yeah, I do like the way that it highlights all these ordinary people making Chuck Norris jokes to kind of show how widespread it was and how loved it was.
Doubles in his movies, but only for the crying parts. Chuck Norris recently visited the Virgin Islands. Now they're just called the Islands. I heard Chuck Norris doesn't flush the toilet, he just scares the shit out of it. He killed 2 stones with 1 bird. When Chuck Norris gets pulled over, the cops get off with a warning. Alexander Graham Bell had 2 missed calls from Chuck Norris when he invented the phone. Chuck Norris once met Stephen Hawking. Stephen stood up so Chuck could sit down. I heard Chuck Norris lifts weights to give gravity a break. Chuck Norris never tells jokes, nobody would survive the punchline.
Oh yeah, this one is really funny. I love this one. Okay, and in this one there's at least 3 songs, and this first transition from the first song to the second song I thought was done badly. The other transition that I saw when I was reacting to it before was good, but this first one, it just seems like a jarring transition, and I think it could have transitioned from one song to the next in a better way.
Chuck Norris once threw a grenade and killed 50 men. Then the grenade exploded. Chuck Norris, tears can cure cancer, too bad he never cries. Chuck Norris once arm wrestled with Superman. Loser had to wear his underwear outside his pants.
Okay, I just really love this joke. This is an awesome joke, and it's a Chuck Norris joke and it's a Superman joke. It's just so awesome.
Chuck Norris doesn't have any reflection when he walks to a mirror because there is only one Chuck Norris. Did you know that Chuck Norris played in every Star Wars movie and spin-offs? He was the Force. They once tried to name a bridge after Chuck Norris, but changed their mind because no one will cross Chuck Norris. When ghosts go camping, they tell Chuck Norris stories. Chuck Norris once pissed in a semi's gas tank. That semi is now known as Optimus Prime. Chuck Norris once beat a dead man to life. When Chuck moved out of his parents' house, he told his dad, "You're the man of the house now." Chuck Norris has a beautiful bearskin rug in his bedroom. The bear isn't dead, it's just too afraid to move. Every night when the boogeyman goes to sleep, he checks under the bed for Chuck Norris. How many push-ups can Chuck Norris do? All of them. Chuck Norris can see John Cena. Chuck Norris split.
Oh yeah, another Chuck Norris can see John Cena joke. And yeah, the can you see John Cena joke, that was in Skybrow's videos, although I think he doesn't do it in recent videos at all.
Boulder in half with one hand, you know it as the Grand Canyon. When Chuck Norris get cut by a knife, the knife bleeds. Chuck Norris once said, "Come here," and the here came. Love once stared Chuck Norris in the eyes, now love is blind. Chuck Norris has counted to infinity twice. An eclipse only happens when the sun wants to hide from Chuck Norris. Chuck Norris makes onions cry.
Oh, I did want to pause to say that I think this second song is a lot better than the first song. I really love it, and I think that this particular song is a lot more re-listenable. It has re-listenable qualities. Okay, let's keep going.
Death once had a near Chuck Norris experience. If you have $5 and Chuck Norris has $5, Chuck Norris has more money than you. Chuck Norris introduced his parents to each other. Chuck Norris once heard nothing can kill him, so he tracked down nothing and killed it. Chuck Norris was born with 15 balls, he donated it the extra 13. You know the first 7 as the Dragon Balls, and the other 6 as the Infinity Stones. This video liked and subscribe to Chuck Norris.
Did you know that I got bit by a king cobra? And after 5 days of agonizing pain, the cobra died.
Chuck Norris.
Okay, so this transition to the third song, this was done well. So I liked that transition. That was not an awkward one. Okay, let's keep going.
Now it's Morgan Freeman's life. Chuck Norris can unscramble a scrambled egg. When Chuck Norris is late, everyone else apologizes for being early. When eating at a restaurant, the waiter tips Chuck Norris. Chuck Norris doesn't cut his grass, he just goes outside every morning and dares it to grow. Chuck Norris laughs like he wants, now we call this chuckling. When Chuck Norris eats
the wall dividing East Germany and West Germany, that was a really big thing in my childhood that everyone talked about. And when that wall fell, it was incredibly shocking. It was just such big news that you can hardly even believe how big it was. It was just amazing. Everyone was flabbergasted.
Go to his room when they had a bad dream. Chuck Norris once took a couple days off of school. Those days are now known as Saturday and Sunday. Chuck Norris doesn't run or walk, the earth turns for him. The sun blinks in a staring contest against Chuck Norris. Chuck Norris plays Russian roulette with a full mag and always wins.
When I do push-ups, I don't push myself up. I push the earth down.
Okay, so, and then this here, I think, is also a good transition to the next song here. I think this is right around where I stopped watching before because I realized it wasn't recording the sound.
Chuck Norris died years ago. Death is just too afraid to tell him. Chuck Norris invented skydiving. The next day he invented the parachute so everyone else could try. When Chuck Norris leaves the gym, the exercise machines are exhausted. Chuck Norris's pet Jekyll once got loose. We all know it as Godzilla. Chuck Norris has no doors in his house. When he wants to go somewhere, he just looks at the wall and then politely apologizes and gets out of his way. Chuck Norris once picked an apple from an orange tree and made lemonade. Chuck Norris attended a feminist rally. He came back with a sandwich and his shirt ironed. Chuck Norris once entered a group hug with a black bear and a polar bear. That's how we have pandas. Chuck Norris has his own petting zoo. It's called Australia. The universe isn't expanding, it's fleeing. Chuck Norris threw a rock into the sky. We now call that rock the moon. Chuck Norris once took a very long nap. We call it the Dark Ages. Chuck Norris calls 911 to ask what is their emergency. In 200 years, people will think we worship Chuck Norris.
Yeah, this I can believe because, you know, people will theorize anything, and especially a long time after it happened, they'll have wilder and wilder theories about what actually happened because no one who is alive from that time can challenge them because no one is. And so I think that this will definitely happen. At least one person will theorize this in 200 years.
Chuck Norris keyboard doesn't have a control key.
Okay, so it looks like that's the transition to a new song. Packing a bunch of songs together in a multi-pack like this, I don't disapprove of that technique. But I do wish that they would sort of like mark off where each song begins and ends so that you can like choose which songs, because some of them are definitely better than other ones. Like the ones here, that one is definitely the best song. And if people are going to come back and rewatch it, they're going to want to go to their favorite song. Also, another like little tiny criticism I have, even though I overall like this, is that there are a lot of Chuck Norris jokes that repeat, and it would have been good to like sort of go through the list of all the jokes that you're using and make sure that you don't repeat them, that you keep or maybe if you're going to repeat them, make sure that they don't repeat more than once in the same song and then divide each song into a different video. That would also work. Although, if you did that, people might complain that you uploaded too many Chuck Norris videos. So I can see why, the troll notes, I think this is troll notes. Yeah, I can see why troll notes pack them together into one video, but it would be good to see where the transitions are and have an easy way to skipping ahead and to not have repeated jokes. I think that would improve it a lot.
He is always in control. Chuck Norris doesn't have an escape key on his computer. He doesn't scroll with a mouse, he uses a lion. Chuck Norris' email address is gmail@chucknorris.com. When Chuck Norris swims, he doesn't get wet, the water gets him. Chuck Norris doesn't sleep, he waits. Chuck Norris can slam a revolving door. He is the reason why Waldo is hiding.
Oh, that was cool. A Where's Waldo joke. I'm going to go backwards. Okay. Yeah, there's Where's Waldo. Yeah, this is really cool to see a Where's Waldo cameo. Oh, and what's happening with their arms? Their arms are like merged together. That is funny. I didn't even notice that till I paused. Okay, let's go.
Chuck Norris clogs the toilet, taking a piss. Chuck Norris can tie his shoes with his feet. He swam to the top of Mount Everest. He can cut through a knife with butter. Chuck Norris can divide by 0. Chuck Norris doesn't use an umbrella, the rain just avoids him. When Chuck Norris enters a room, he doesn't turn the lights on, he turns the dark off. When Chuck Norris was a child at school, his teachers would raise their hands in order to talk to him. When Chuck Norris lifts weights, the weights get in shape.
What is this? Sorry, I see another error here. Look at this. It's like merging with his jaw, and then this one is like at a different level and growing out of his neck from the backside. Yeah, that's funny. Oh, and look at this. Look at that. Yeah, this is funny.
When police officers approach Chuck Norris, they say we have the right to remain silent. When Chuck Norris was born, the doctor asked him to name his parents. Oxygen needs Chuck Norris to survive. Chuck Norris got bit by a rabid dog. He didn't get sick, the dog got better. When Chuck Norris cooks, he makes the onion cry. Chuck Norris once took a lie detector test. The machine confessed everything. Chuck Norris doesn't turn the shower on. He stares at it until it cries. Chuck Norris doesn't call the wrong number. You'll pick up the wrong phone. They're not Chuck Norris jokes. They're Chuck Norris facts.
Okay, I'm not sure what that weird effect was where his outline keeps being like with the pink glow and then the lines come across. I'm not sure what that means, but it was kind of distracting and not interesting. Okay, and as you see, I already gave that a thumbs up. So that was really cool to see, and of course a ton of these have come out, and these are basically ones I just picked at random that were popping up. I'm sure that if I wanted to, I could sit here and watch 50 of these things, but I don't have the time and I don't want to do that. So I'm glad that the ones that I picked at random turned out to be enjoyable ones. That was pretty cool. And sad that we've lost Chuck Norris, but he was at the age where that happened. So, you know, a natural occurrence and not a tragedy. So, Chuck Norris, you are a great guy, and I hope that all of these tributes that are being made are considered to be in good taste, because I know they come from a good place in people's hearts. I know they do. Okay, that was fun.